Try HelloFresh UK to get 60% off your first box, 25% off for 2 months, and to, of course, help support this channel. Link is down in the description. Thank you for your support. Well, we return for the final game of our debut season at Yokohama FC, and unfortunately, I think the European dream is over. We're down to 5th place. We cannot make the top 4, and if we go badly today, we could finish as low as 8th. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 25 of this head coach story with me, Daniel. The FM24 edition has seen a meteoric rise in Japan, and while we've overachieved on the board expectations again, we are not going to be completing a dream this time. European football, by the looks of the slots that are suggested for it, has been missed on this occasion. And unfortunately, our faltering end to the season has led to a positional finish between 5th and 8th. We'll wait and see which it is today as we go away to one of the Osaka clubs. If you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. You can see both clubs missing a couple of key players today, but after we've played our final match, we'll do a quick season review, and we'll also look at what players might be leaving us this winter and decide whether or not it's worth looking for another job, because we are reaching a stage now where our reputation is outgrowing the club again. It's been a weird situation saying that multiple times within 3.5 years of a story starting, but let's go and see what position we're in and what's been happening since you were last here. Because if we go through to the schedule, you were last with me, well, for a bit of a disappointing doubleheader, wasn't it? We got battered in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. In the end, almost got through remarkably. But following that, it has been only 2 wins in 5. And a couple of really disappointing displays, particularly last time. We went away to Arara, the former manager of Yokohama FC, and we got a 0-0 draw. We were pretty poor. We had a bit of a weird situation with these games as well, because we had some reserve league games and I was trying to build fitness up. There were some games where I left myself with 14 or 15 fit players, which wasn't really ideal, but this one we got a decent result. Against Kashima, we got a 1-1 draw. Sakuragawa got the goal for us, but we were pegged back late on annoyingly. Against Osaka, we managed to get a decent result. A 2-0 win with Italucci and Sakuragawa. Look who was back between the sticks and putting in a good performance. Go Hatano, a key addition to our team this summer. Yokohama FM, we beat the rivals with a 2-1 win. They made it tense late on, but Mochizuki and Sakuragawa got one apiece, and that was enough to hold on in the end. And against Kawasaki last time, they're second for a reason. They played us off the park, they beat us 2-0, and we didn't deserve any more out of it. So now we go away to a mid-table side. I don't really know what to expect. We've seen at some points in our saves this year where our team's been on the beach. We've also seen points where we finished with a remarkable scoreline. So I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't know whether we're going to get a thriller, but for us, other than determining between 5th and 8th, there's nothing really riding on it. It looks like the slots that are dedicated for Europe are 2nd to 4th, and we're not going to be able to top that at the minute. So let's have a look at the rules and see if it gives us any indicator. Yeah. So 2nd is the Asian Champions League, 3rd is the group stage, 4th is the playoff. We can't make that. So for now, it is just about position, and maybe if that affects finances too, I don't know. But either way, it's been a very good season. We were expected to be mid-table, and we finished in the top half. Definitely progress, definitely a good year. And what's more, 4th year, 4th coaching badge. We have got a deal to the end of next season, but we have now got a 2.5-star reputation, which as a reminder, matches the club we're at, and is starting to look like a sort of championship level CV for English football, and is matching a lot of the clubs in Europe where we might be able to go to smaller nations or less reputable leagues and play European football, which could be incredible. So it's going to be a decision we're going to have to make this winter. Do we want to try and apply for a job in Europe where someone's struggling, where we could go in at maybe I know it's ambitious, an FC Basel, but even a bottom half Eredivisie team, maybe even looking at somewhere like Poland, looking at Turkey, a club that we could maybe push on, even Scandinavia again, something we've done many years ago on the channel. I'm interested to see how we go there. I don't really want to go straight back to England. I was tempted when the Luton job popped up recently, but that was still a little bit beyond us. So we're going to have a decision to make. but part of that is going to be what squad we're left with if we stay here. So I'll have a look through after this game at who's out of contract, who might be getting released, who might be getting sold, who's wanted by other clubs, etc, etc. So that's all going to be for the future. But for now, let's get through the final game. We did have our youth intake as well. It was pretty rubbish, if I'm honest with you. There was one player that's good with big potential, but he's a centre-half who's 5'7" and can't jump. So again, it's that age-old problem in Japan. But we've seen lads like Mochizuki, for example, and Ueno at the back as well, where they've grown an inch or 2 inches and their jumping reach has improved throughout the year. So maybe that will be the same with this guy, because everything else is great. He's just not got the jumping reach or the physicality yet. But at 15, there's plenty of time for that. And he's got the best birthday of the year as well. So let's get through to the fixtures and see how we get on. Nothing really on this game, but I want to celebrate what's been a good season. We've come in, we've done a good job. But we're playing against a side with a big budget. I mean, this side who are 14th in the league. Let's put their striker into perspective here. He's on 33 grand a week, which might be pushing probably half of our 11 there. Lara's our only big earner who's out injured today. And other than that, we've got no one on more than about 8. So this is a player who's high quality. It's a slightly better version of Sakuragawa, but by the looks of it, they're not playing to his strengths quite so much. So let's go and get through the team selection and pick our team for today. This is the side we played last time. I'm probably going to stick fairly similar with it, to be honest. We're not filling the foreign slots in the squad because of the injuries at the back, because of the injuries in midfield, and because the sub-keeper's got to be homegrown to meet that rule in. So other than dealing with an injury to Sekiguchi at right wing back and to Agawa, who's returned now, but Takahashi's actually in form off the bench, so I don't want to drop him out. We're pretty much as strong as we can be here. The good news is Theatrical has just returned from injury. He's played the last couple and will feature today. Yaneda is covering at right wing back because of the injuries. He's the only man left who can play there. And the rest of the team, you probably won't be surprised by. The youngster from Vissel Kobe is playing centre midfield with Fakai. Bit of experience, bit of grit in there. We've got lots of the youngsters on the bench, so they'll probably get a run out today. Let's have a look at our team in full then. It is Gohatano back in goal. Ueno, Fitzwater and Moraes the back three, with Suzuki and Yaneda the wing backs. Fakai and Masashima at the midfield too, with Theatrical in the number 10. And then Sakuragawa alongside Mochizuki up front as we submit the team for the final time this season. A good first year at Yokohama FC. Can we cement a top 5 finish, or will we drop as low as 8? Well, there's nothing riding on the game for our hosts, and as we've seen a bit more in FM24, there's rotation as a result of that. We're going to do ours off the bench, they're doing theirs from the start. It is 7 changes for Cerezo Osaka. Let's go and get through and ask for a marked improvement in performance. We'll ask for the match preview, we'll get through to the kickoff. They're in awful form, they've lost 5 in a row. Well, let's hope with our slightly better one, we can find a way through here as Masashima gets it in the middle. Up to the target man, who's been brilliant. I think he's still the top scorer in the league as well. It goes back to Suzuki and Moraes again. Masashima into Fitzwater. Nice football, again controlled as Fakai. Finds Ueno at the back. This is better. Out to Yaneda. I mean, they're not pressing, they're giving us time, but we've still got to take advantage. Yaneda cuts it back in. Just beaten to it, the midfielder by Ueno. He can switch the play with Masashima. Suzuki in from the left to Theatrical. Good 1-2 to the byline. Who's going to find the cross? Might be Masashima. Nice ball to Suzuki. Into Theatrical. What a goal that is. Oh, we've got the screen saying checking offside. I've never noticed that before up here. Now, we'll have a look at it. I think it's okay. No, it's disallowed. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That would have been the best goal we'd scored in FM24. And it's been chalked off by VAR. Oh, I hate this stuff. Get the technology out the game. It's back to the edge of the box. The hosts are now on a counter-attack. Keep calling them the visitors. We're definitely not at home. And there we go. It's a penalty now. The referee's given it. And VAR, only once we've had one overturned all year across all saves. It's not going to happen, is it? Penalty awarded. And after a positive start, we could be behind. Always the way with these games. They work out in funny measures. And now the number 9 is up against Atano. We talked about the quality Vasquez had. And from the penalty spot, he makes no mistake. 19 goals this season for a pretty failing team. It's not a bad effort at all, is it? What a player he is. 15 gone. and we're 1-0 down, despite having the best goal we've ever scored chalked off. And we're back with 20 minutes on the clock as Fakai has won the ball in the right back position for Ueno. And now Yaneda again. Bit of a disappointing display so far, but does look like two teams that are on the beach. This is the first game we've played where we've not been able to mathematically secure a top 4 finish still. And I wonder if that's playing into the mentality here. As Moraes gets the ball wide to Suzuki. Chips over the top to Theatrical. Ball across to Sakaragawa. It's a huge miss. And he is a man who has been so reliable this year, albeit mainly with his head. But that's a big opportunity gone. Vissel Kobe are winning the league in style. A 2-0 lead away at Arawa. And with 10 minutes to the break, we've dominated this game. But we just cannot find the breakthrough. And at the moment, that is the difference. A penalty kick and dominance from us with no finishing touch. Mochizuki, I've got to say, since he got that award a month or two ago, really gone quiet at the end of this year. Not produced a lot of magical moments as Vasquez is in. He probably should have scored that. It's a great cross from deep. But it stays 1-0. Look at them. They've had one shot on target, which was the pen. We've got an expected goal. We've had one ruled out for offside too. And now Yaneda's got a knock at right wing back. We're being told to bring Vitalucci on, who cannot play there at all. I genuinely don't know if anyone's even close to being able to do it. I mean, even Yaneda's only competent. Suzuki can not really do it. Then we've got Vitalucci, who just can't. I don't really know what we do from here. We could go for one of the right backs. Maybe chuck Chiba out there for a laugh. Maybe go Ueno, who's a little bit shorter, as we've mentioned before. Which one's better going forward? Neither of them, really. I think we're going to go Chiba on and Ueno right wing back. Because let's be honest, we don't really need to take any risk at all with injury at this point. I'm also going to take off the experience for Kai for Morishima. Get another homegrown player 45 minutes. Theatrical still building his fitness, so he probably won't do more than an hour. We've got Sada there as well, who's another young player. And we'll get Takahashi a run out up front as well. With 10 minutes gone in the second half, it's a dominant performance with no end product. And it's a corner for our host now, who might complete the ultimate FM in today. Into the edge of the box they go again. Good challenge from Morishima. He's given a penalty. It was a foul the other way. What on earth are you watching? Morishima had the ball and he was brought down and suddenly it's a penalty. I have no idea what's going on. So we've dominated a game now and 2 shots on target from 2 penalties is going to win the game for Osaka. If ever there's an FM in, it's now. He's about to come off as well, I think, Vasquez, but that is very frustrating. How on earth did they get to that decision? I don't know. In a game we've played so well as well. Suzuki is going to come off at left wing back, but again, the question is who for, because he's knackered. Let's do the other ones first. So Masashima will come off for Sada. We'll bring on... No, I'm not going to take the left wing back off. We'll go Ashida on for Theatrical. The midfield 2 will switch sides there. And then maybe it is Suzuki for Vitalucci. We're going to have to do it. Let's just go for fitness. It's not ideal at this point. Maybe we should change to a back 4 or a 4-4-1-1. But we've played really well and I don't want to change the shape because if you take away the 2 penalties, which is easy to do, we've been by far the better side and they've offered nothing. As Mochizuki switches to Ashida. Don't rule us out getting a point here. As the ball in early towards Mochizuki. He's just not in form. If he was, we'd probably be getting results out of these games. But 2 shots on target from 2 penalties is enough for Cerezo Osaka. The referee has decided that we're not winning this game. And VAR, well, some choice moments, I think. Who said it wasn't going to be controversial? As Akimoto goes up to the centre forward. Ueno nicks it. He's actually playing well right wing back. Hasn't really got that distribution or that forward pass after though. As Mochizuki finds Ishida. Now the target man's got 2 on the right. Ueno's one of them. Can he find the cross? Can he find the through ball? Mochizuki's in. The flag was up. Well, it hasn't gone up actually. The referee's going to VAR. It looked offside to me. I think this will be disallowed. Let's see if I'm right. No, goal awarded. Mochizuki gets his goal to finish the year. I'm not sure that's the right decision, I'll be honest with you. But it's 2-1 and we deserve a goal. As Mochizuki with 10 to go. Just stands there, dallies until he's lost the ball. Fitzwater will pick it up at the back and we start again. We deserve something out of this game. I really want us to get a result. Morishima finds Ueno, two of the homegrown players. Into Sada, the teenager, in midfield. Big switch of play to Vitalucci, covering at left wing back. Through ball to Ashida. Sakuragawa's in the middle. He can't get there, but Mochizuki can. 2-2. The most deserved comeback you'll see all season. Now, can we go and win it? Because we deserve a result. And at the moment, we're just not getting it. As Tanaka with a big long ball with Shiba heads straight back to them. Not like this. When we've done so well to come back. Not going to be another penalty, is it? It's not. Shot almost goes out for a corner, for a throw-in, sorry. But it stays out in the end. 2-2 with 5 to go. We've been brilliant. One of our best performances of the season. But the penalties are going to leave us ruin what could have been. Thankfully, there wasn't 4th place riding on this, or I'd be furious. As Vitalucci finds Morishima. Might still be time for a winner here. We're past the 5 minutes. Sada's foul, but it falls for Ueno. Playing right wing back. And there is a player who cannot finish. But a 2-2 draw, a good comeback in the circumstances. A bit of a crime we didn't win it. And that second penalty is a disgrace to football. Let's go and have a look at what was said about it. Get through to the end of season messages and find out whether it was 5th, 6th, 7th or 8th that we ended up in the J-League. Well, thanks to our former club, FC Gifu, losing 2-0 to them on the final day. Hiroshima jump above us in the 5th place, but we stay 6th because Kashima and Imabari both got a point against each other. If one of them had won that, would have been a bit trickier, but I think our goal difference was fine anyway. So let's go and get through to the end of season review. Of course, their manager's happy with a draw. It barely looked like getting a result. Yoneda's only 2 weeks, so he'll be fine for pre-season. We'll have a couple of days before the messages come through. We'll find out what the budget is for Sean Holmes. And of course, the big news is we'll see who's out of contract and whether or not we're going to feel we need to apply for a new job. Well, we're back as a lot of the coaches are getting tied down for next year, but we've got all the big news that we want to see, which is the board set their initial budgets for the director of football to work with, and we get all the expectations and stuff as well. So let's start with a big one. What is the transfer and wage budget for next year? Transfer budget, 1.6 million, not bad. Wage budget, 175. That means compared to now, we're going up about 15 grand, which isn't bad at all. Now, if you look at some of the people going out of the club, it's going to reduce the wage bill. If you look at some of those who have got wage rises in their contract, it will sort of even it out a little bit. I'm a little bit concerned that they're offering that budget when they're still in debt, but they must have a lot of money coming in pre-season. For now, though, let's see what the club vision and expectations are. We've got a worrying decline in supporter profile and social media following, but we're not going to worry about that for now. We beat Yokohama FM, so they should be happier with that. But let's have a look at the club vision. It is finish mid-table again and work towards a top half finish in a couple of years. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's sensible, it's calm, it's measured, it's not over the top. They're unhappy that we've not signed players under 23 for the first team. This is a problem you have to deal with in the head coach sometimes, that your director of football will not follow the club culture and you'll get blamed for it by the board. But otherwise, we've made up for it with the rest of the work we've done. Let's have a look at the dynamics, which are in decent nick, but some news on the team leader in a minute, who's also the biggest earner. We know we've got problems with the skipper, who's in the highly influential players, and there's a few other experienced ones in that group as well, so that could be problematic. But the managerial support now okay, and I'm a little bit surprised by this. As far as the players are concerned, you're doing a fine, if unspectacular job. We have overachieved quite a bit this year, and they don't seem to think so, so that's something we should be a little concerned about, but we're not going to get too beat up about it. We've now done our coaching badge. We're matching the club's reputation and matching that of a lot of our players, which will probably bode well for the future. So we'll accept the club vision. We'll do the team meeting off camera and we'll come back afterwards. I mean, we have had some problems with injury this year. Fakai got injured. Was it before or just after his first game? Agawa missed loads of the season, both when we joined and towards the back end of the year. We lost Hatano, our first choice goalkeeper, before that crucial cup semi-final. We lost Broderson earlier in the season at a big stage. And that is the one problem with this injury report. It doesn't bring up the players that have left during the season who were injured during it. Because Broderson missed 7 weeks, which was pretty important for us. but that doesn't get reflected on here. We have had quite a few others with 3 or 4 weeks as well, but 2 serious injuries. Theatrical for 6 weeks as well wasn't ideal. I'm a bit worried actually looking at Hurtado now. He joined us in August. He's had 5 injuries this year. That could be a problem for the future. Let's worry about that in a moment though. And for now, look at who may or may not be here when you get to the start of next season at this club, because that will determine whether we need to look for another job. Because if we go and have a look at the contract situation we've got here, we have got a few players who are out of contract this year. The first of them is obviously the loan player, the captain Ando, who is a highly influential player, and a couple of other experienced players that haven't featured much this year are all among them. The bigger problems, though, are the ones that are out of contract next winter, because a lot of them are going to be sold on, you would expect. We've seen that as a bit of an emerging pattern this year to prevent players going out of contract. We quite often get the backroom advice messages in those team meetings and the staff meetings to say, put them on a transfer list, and that will impact us next year. Yuri Lara is the big earner at the club. He is the big, highly influential leader. And at the moment, he's unhappy because of the lack of quality in the team. He's 32 years of age. He's had a long-term injury. He wants to go and he's not going to sign a new deal. That's a big problem for the club. And you look at some of the players that are also out next year. They're among the stars at the club. You look at Fakai, you look at Theatrical, you look at Perales, who came in earlier this year. Even the likes of Ishida, Yaneda, Sada to an extent. They've played significant parts on the pitch this season. Even Diogenes has played a lot of games. So there are players that are integral parts of the squad that are out of contract next year. And I wonder how that's going to affect the winter business. We also have to bear in mind some of the important players that are wanted. And the most important one there is Solomon Sakaragawa, because he has been the top scorer this season. He's worth a lot more money than he was signed for. He doesn't have a release clause unless we get relegated, but there's going to be a point where that offer's accepted, isn't it? For someone who was signed for $500,000 or so, we get 2 or 3, I can see him being sold. Weno is another one we got offers for in the summer. I think his clause will be met. I think it's 1.9. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be met, isn't it? He's worth double that. So unless he gets a new deal this winter, we're in trouble with him too. And that then makes the homegrown at the club ruling a bit harder and could make our bench weaker next year. So I'm not sure this club's in a brilliant position, but it has the potential with the right director of football. Sean Holmes has yet to prove that he's that man. He's done well enough, but has he been as good as Hiroki Izumi? I'm not so sure. We've got a man with good attributes though. We've got a man with experience of English football. If he can get me 1 or 2 more like Fitzwater next year, maybe we'll have something to work from. So that's going to be the plan on that front. I think I will still have a little look for jobs. You can give me your opinion on this down in the comments, but I think I'm going to have a little nose, but only take ones that are really good opportunities, where there's a realistic chance at Europe. There's a chance at, say, look at the Bundesliga too there, with Werder Bremen or Schalke, to take a fallen giant back up. It's got to be a job that's really attractive and that I'd realistically want to move for. Because, as we mentioned at Gifu before we came here, by head coach standards and the torture we've had, well, this time last year we were still stuck in Wales, weren't we, with Airbus? So we've got things pretty cushy by head coach standards. We've got a pretty comfortable life. I think we're earning, what was it, $3,500 a week. So we're earning a pretty good wage as well. I think we need to be very careful about our move and make sure it's a good one if we're going to take it. I'm not ruling out the chance of moving this summer or trying to move on, but it's going to have to be a big opportunity to lure me back to Europe, because Japanese football has been good to me. It's been another solid season. And even if we lose 2 or 3 here, we've still got a good enough squad to finish mid-table again. And knowing that we can meet those objectives is always a key part of the start, because then you know you can't fail and you can only progress. The money in the league and the TV deals means we'll probably get another coaching badge next year as well. And that is really helping our progression. Whereas at penniless clubs in the UK, we often have to wait years before we get those opportunities. So that's going to be the plan. We'll probably be at Yokohama, but if something special comes up, I'll of course let you know. We will be back in a couple of days' time to find out the answer to that. If you're looking forward to it and you did enjoy this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date with what happens next and whether we start the season at Yokohama, and subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We got a big finish to the season with Southend United tomorrow. Make sure you come and check that one out in the eye above. We're also live on Twitch tonight. we're struggling a bit over there. You can find that one up there as well. Check out the football podcast. We had a special interview with a Luton legend yesterday and loads of predictions as the Championship and the Premier League return this weekend. A final end of season thank you to HelloFresh who continue to support the channel. You can get 60% off your first box if you're in the UK by signing up via the link below. But thank you very much for watching. Your support as always is appreciated. Get your predictions in the comments. Will we be in Japan in the next episode or will we be moving on? I'll see you there to find out.